Hey folks, good evening. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. I apologize for being on the road doing this on my mobile, but it's necessary to do this video because we need to talk about something. A couple videos have been posted over the past couple days in South Africa. Yesterday, one offering an opinion about Thea van Straten and claiming that she wasn't a legitimate refugee. And I can't attest to whether she's a legitimate refugee or not. I didn't do the background investigations. I don't work for the U.S. government, and I don't do the vetting for USCIS. I can trust that they've done it properly, unlike the Biden regime, which just let anybody and their brother come over without any vetting. So I can trust that that's the case. But in the case of Thea van Straten, today was the second interview, and this one can't be ignored. She interviewed a gentleman by phone who purported to be the husband of Thea van Straten. I don't know if he's a husband, ex-husband, partner, whatever the guy is. I really don't know. And I'm not here to disparage him, but I am here to talk about facts. I can tell you for a fact that there's some parts of this story that don't make sense and really need to be looked at a little closer based on the claims this gentleman's making. First, the gentleman claimed that he did not know that she had left the country until after she got to the States or she was gone. Well, in fact, that's an outright lie, because the person who was her partner or husband or whatever the person was, that person actually followed her to Kempton Park, to the airport, and then tried to get in the hotel. Several security agents had to get involved. All the 59ers were briefed about that threat and other threats that were made to them and to her specifically in that case. And so the person who purports to be her spouse or her partner actually knew that she was leaving, because that person followed her to the airport, to the hotel. And then that person tried to cause chaos at the airport. So if, in fact, this person is her partner or husband, that's a lie. He clearly knew that she was going to the States before she left for the States, because he stalked her, whoever this person was. I don't know the person, I don't know the name, and I'm not really here to tell you that. I'm just here to tell you that the person that was her partner or spouse stalked her to the airport and then caused chaos with security at the hotel near the airport and got a lot of people very excited about what's happening. That's the first problem. The second problem is the gentleman claims that the farm is still in operation. Well, I know what farm it is, and I was aware of it before the refugee program ever even began. And I can tell you this much. The domain for that farm doesn't exist. It existed in April, it existed in the beginning of May, but it's gone. You don't find it because the domain is no longer paid for, because there's no longer an operational farm, working historical farm there. So if you go searching for that farm today, you won't find a website. Now, you will find a Facebook page, but interestingly enough, of course, Facebook is free. A lot of businesses use Facebook because it's free, but that Facebook site was last updated on April 4th. Also, I can tell you that that the agents that were familiar with her case actually spoke to a few of the 59ers and explained to them what was going on about that farm, that it had not been in operation for some time. So I don't know who the gentleman is. I haven't been to the farm. I can just relate to you reliably from reliable sources what actually happened. So I can state for a fact that two of the claims that were spoken by whomever the gentleman is in the video, and I don't know who he is, I'm not trying to throw shade at him if he's really the partner, but if that's the partner, then he wasn't telling the truth. If he's not the partner, that would explain why he doesn't know that the partner stalked her to the airport hotel and then caused chaos with security at the airport hotel. And there are witnesses, many witnesses to this. So there's a problem with people lying. The second one is that if that farm is in existence, and it's plausible that it is in existence, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. What I'm saying is that its website for people to book doesn't work. It doesn't exist. The domain is gone. I'm also telling you that the Facebook page was last updated on April 4th. So if you're a guest house or a hotel, don't you want to keep your social media presence current? April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. 7, 8 months later, you don't have a social media presence and you're in business to make money by having guests come there? Something fishy going on here. And that's where I'll leave it. No allegations or anything else other than that there's a fishy story here. Now, I'm sure I'll be attacked for reporting facts, but I'm reporting facts, not opinion. Facts have been corroborated, facts have been run down with multiple sources. So if people want to attack me for that, that's their shortcomings and their moral failings, not mine. But there's the story from what I know. Now, as far as the interview, I had a number of refugees freaking out, calling me, oh my gosh, she's a fake refugee, now we're not going to get to go. If a refugee commits fraud, and I'm not aware of any fraud being committed here, but if a refugee commits fraud, that's a person that can be sent back. That's why your refugee status is provisional. It gets revoked for two reasons. Either the underlying conditions that granted it to you, like the end of a conflict or the end of 145 race-based laws, or you commit fraud. And right now, the Trump administration is going to look at 233,000 refugee cases, every single one that came in under the 4 years of Joseph Biden. Why? Because of perceptions or evidence of pervasive fraud committed either by the refugees who came here or more likely by the Biden regime in letting them in the country. Anyway, so there you have it, folks. There's some facts. I'm sure that I'll get grilled by haters, but I'm all about telling the truth, and that's the truth. As far as me interviewing her, she was what she purported to be, one of the first refugees to go over. She told her story. It's her story, not mine, and I interviewed her. You can choose to believe what you want to believe. I can't make people believe anything. All I can do is present the facts and give you accurate, cogent, insightful, lucid analysis, which I do every day. Cheers.